My name is Robert Hayward, this is Ian Green and Adam Williams, and we're here today to present to you our new product, Sense. Sense is a new plug socket that visually displays the energy consumption of the appliance that's plugged in, which allows homeowners to monitor how much energy their appliances are using. Statistics from DirectGov show that the average home can save £40 a year by turning products off standby, and this product highlights appliances that use energy on standby. Last year, 135,000 new homes were built, which is a huge market that we can try to exploit.
Our market strategy is to approach national constructors and architect firms to get contract orders. We predict that we could achieve a 2% market share of new buildings in our first year of trading. We would introduce a 10% introductory offer for people that ordered the product within the first month of trading to get small contractors to use the product. Our main promotion would be through trade shows, so we could promote and network at trade shows as well as publishing adverts in industrial brochures and magazines.
We predict a total tooling cost of 42,000. Our total expenditure for the year would be 96,000. From this we can calculate the price per unit, which would be £2.10. However, this does not include transport, so when we include transport, it would come to a total of £2.50. We are going to make a 25p profit off each unit. We would sell to contractors for £5 per unit and £10 to retailers, which they could then sell on for £19.99. Our break-even point is 19,628, and our net profit for the year is 34,518. However, this does include the 25,000 that we put forward to acquire the 50,000 loan, and there's 2 more years of the loan repayment to be paid back.
Thank you very much, and we welcome any questions.
Just to be clear, in terms of your market and who the product is selling to, because you talked about house builders and contractors, and then you've talked about retailers and selling direct to consumers. In the first couple of years, where do you see the majority of your sales from? Where do you see the split of your sales from trade sales and direct to consumer?
In the first year, it will be almost entirely trade sales to contractors and architect firms to establish the thing in homes. And then at the end of that year, we would then approach retailers, like large national retailers such as B&Q or Homebase, and use the success of its use in trade to as an incentive for them to stock our product.
Okay. And as a consumer, so there's a recommended retail price of £19.99. What does that give me as a what's the benefit to me as a customer then? Is it purely a visual representation of how much energy I'm consuming? Is that a visual reminder? That's what the product does?
Yeah, and for example, if you plugged a kettle in, the light would glow red. If you plugged in an energy-saving sort of desk lamp, it would be green. So you can gauge an idea of how much the appliances are using.
And it's £19.99 recommended retail price per unit?
Yeah.
So it starts to add up. Do you know what I mean? For me to kit my entire house out with all these plugs in on all my appliances, all my major appliances, might cost me 180 quid or something to kit my house out. And you're saying I can save £40 a year.
More products in the range for this? Is there like a dual and a triplicate plug as well that you can access?
Yeah, we're going to develop those.
Initially, it would be that model in a double version and a single version, and then later will be different material finishes on the front as well as different colours for the plastic housing.
Why aren't you going to approach the main retailers first? You say you're going to do that after the first year, but why?
We just thought it would be a better strategy to establish it in homes, saying that it's being used.
But how are you going to do that?
Just
because you're saying your website isn't going to sell to customers, just trade shows.
Well, we're going to go to trade shows to get contracts off with contractors and builders so that they use it in their thing, and then approach retailers saying it is being used in industry and there's a demand for it, rather than just going to retailers and saying, here's another plug socket that you could put on the shelf next to all your other plug sockets that hasn't been trialled before.
But will you not find that the contractors will not buy directly from you at a trade show? They will go to the main building wholesalers. So isn't that who you should be targeting first? And you think 25 pence profit per unit will be enough?
In
to
the
cover
first year, that's
contingencies?
just to absorb the tooling costs, so that in the next year, we did need to drop our price because demand wasn't as much. We could drop it by a large percentage and still have a large profit margin, because the actual unit costs, once the tooling's been absorbed, would go down from £2.50 to something like 50 pence a unit. So we could drop the overall price substantially as well, and still, say the £20 thing wasn't selling, we could recommend that they could drop it down to £10, £15, and we'd still be able to get it.
Optimistic and dangerous.
Can I just ask you about the patents? Just tell me a little bit more about the patents.
We've done sort of initial searches and no patents can be found that combine sort of energy sort of measurement and visually displaying it through colour. There are energy monitors already, but they tend to monitor the whole home rather than on a local plug sort of basis.
I do know of devices similar to these which are local per device. It tells you the kilowatt hour per device plugged in,
Yeah.
and it reports back to a web page, for instance. I could ring one of my contacts in China and just say, copy this, and just get me 100,000 units of these and just undercut you guys.
Yeah, we considered the patent and we obviously feel it's important to cover it, but obviously the sort of enforcing the patent is difficult. And regards to other competitors, it's mainly on a. We felt that if it said 1 kilowatt hours, unless you can relate that to something, it's more difficult to appreciate than sort of green being less energy and red being a high amount of energy. And we felt that if you could just quickly look, and if it was always sort of amber, you could appreciate that it was always using energy and quickly turn it off, rather than having to understand it or go on the internet and track how much energy your sockets use.
But then you have to get an electrician into your house to change all your sockets.
You do.
You've factored that price in.
We haven't in the cost of the
Because it's okay if you're selling to new properties, but if you're selling it as an idea to the man in the street and you're saying it's five sockets in the kitchen, then you just can't do it yourself.
If I saw these in a shop and it was a pack of 5 for 25 quid or a pack of 5 units for 30 quid, so I could kit my kitchen and my major appliances out, and it's a one-off cost, dead simple, traffic light system, I'd probably go for it. And I know a lot of people that would as well.